couldn't get his leg to move. So everything changed. They thought perhaps he had a brain bleed, and so they took him to the x-ray over at the hospital. And this is another situation. Actually, it kind of makes me angry. He was taken over to the hospital, and I know accidents happen and stuff, but the girl didn't lock the wheelchair that came to move him, and so he went to get up, and he pushed up, and the chair went, and he landed on his back. And that really set him back. And what makes me angry, because I know accidents happen, was that the girl didn't own it. She said it was the wheelchair.
Malfunction.
Yeah. And the therapists were like, wait a minute, you know. So we kind of, but that's water under the bridge. It did set my dad back, because of course he's afraid to fall at this point.
But to add to that, it was difficult in moving him already. And then added to that now he has a fear of anything but a bed. And so to try and get him to, we need to move from the bed to the wheelchair. Okay, no, we need you to move. All right, in a minute. And it literally, you know, he already had paralysis in his left side. His whole body, his whole psyche, his whole spirit was paralyzed at that point, because he just, you know, he'd fallen up at the other hospital and then had this fall, and he wasn't going to fall anymore. And it really set him back.
So my training had changed a lot, because now I had to do the hardest, like locking his knees and stuff. But I was ready, and I feel like I learned like life. I am prepared if I ever need to transport, move people around. So we brought my dad back home. My goodness, here I go. And he ate at our dinner table before all these hospital things. He was eating at the dinner table, taking showers. I was helping him with all this stuff. He had one day where he could eat with us, and I gave him a shower, and that was it. He was completely bedridden. And at this point, my family, my mom, made the decision that prolonging this life was not quality. So I'm going to cry a little bit. So she decided to not do the treatments.
He couldn't.
Well, then to get him onto a table to do radiation, and he just wasn't strong enough, and even to get him to the facilities. So we had a couple weeks like this where he was in the bed, and we always ate dessert first. Apple pie preferably, and we just really enjoyed him and loved on him. He had his cat with him. So he was really, I think it was a beautiful, wonderful experience for our whole family. 5 days before my dad passed, he started seeing an angel in the corner of the room, and he would get frustrated with us that we couldn't see her. He saw his mother with her poodles, and his dad and his grandfather. We had Sutter Hospice at the time that my mom had made that decision not to do treatment. Sutter Hospice got involved. I remember the social worker, we had therapists coming to our house like he was getting ready to hop out of bed, and they didn't give up. I mean, they were working him, and it was wonderful, and all, again, training for us, the nurses that came in.
Counseling, and that was one of the things that there was counseling for us, caregivers as well as for her dad, which in the moment that was like, right, they're talking about us, it was fine.
Yeah, how are you guys doing, you know?
We called it a journey, and we said, we don't want this journey. She goes, this isn't a journey.
This is horrible.
Yeah.
But at the end, it was an amazing journey. So we had Calvin was a chaplain from Sutter Rehab, and he'd been getting out to see my dad. And I had called him. He was scheduled to come out on Tuesday. And on Sunday, I had gone to church, and I called Calvin, and I said, you know, my dad believed in God. He never, ever went to church. But come out. When you come out, could you be prepared to maybe baptize him if he wants that, and maybe do communion? If he wants that, would you just be prepared for that? And so Tuesday morning came along, and my sister took off work for some reason.